is out there in water. One of the riggers out there, Craig Wesley. Craig Wesley, are you out there, Craig? Oh, he's up on the stand. Jarrett Wilkinson, are you? Nice short of you dragon door.
Sure. Let's try it.
Okay, it's fired, it's fired. Throw him up, throw him up, throw him up. Bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. Johnny fire. Let's get everybody through that wall ride nice and clean. First fuel stop run. Axel with a nose wheelie. Jason gonna get him going back in the right direction. They're just all trying to do a wheel. All right. Come up on. So they're coming to do John S. Lucas. John E. moving up in front of Ryan Stewart at 6. Ryan Danny Craig is finishing out the top 9. Truck still on track. 17 minutes expired. 17 expired. 13 to 17 and a half down. 12 and a half to go. Shane Chuck Evans. 3 on 61. Robert Dowers still stop at 61 on a 60 lap pace. Axel on a 58. John E. and Ryan Chu on 5th. There is that orange truck. Somebody finding a nail in the pipe there on that front turbo lander. Just nailing that down a little better once. Up onto the glide, clear. All right, guys. 1.5 remaining. Evans side still leading out on 61. 1 minute remaining. 1 to go. 1 to go here. Evans side. Shane, Chuck, your top 3. Robert, Johnny.
All right. Craig's race recap. Take 1. After route today, do a little bit of the old seltzer water. Sounds pretty good. Well, just wanted to talk a little bit about a super rad race weekend, man, and a good season in general. This will be the last race video chat that I'll do for a while. I just attended my 3rd regional race of the year, and I won't be able to go anymore. I used all my days to go racing, so I'm just gonna have to concentrate on other stuff for the rest of the season. I used up all my days, so I went to 3, like I said, and I was just try to wrap, just kind of look back on it and just see how the year went, man. And it was great. I've been going to races for 5 years now, and when I'm driving up, I always think about like why I like to go, and there's a lot of reasons, but probably one of the main ones that I realize when I go is like, when you're at a 3-day RC race, you're not alone. No, you're not alone, man, and you can't wait to get there. Yeah, it's pretty killer, man. It's going back to the people and racing with the people and getting to know them that brings you back, man. When I'm on my way driving to one, man, I'm just floating because I'm happy that I'm gonna go see all those rad people again and just get to know them better. And I mean, what a vacation, I mean, we run RC cars for 3 days straight. Sometimes you don't even sleep, you know, and it's just a really fun thing to do. You know, I trip out every time I go. It's crazy. There's nothing else like it. You know, there's nothing else like it at all. I mean, man, I implore everybody to give it a try. You know, like all of us that have all this gear, this RC stuff, man. Just throw it in your car and figure out a way to sleep. You know, if you live in a place that doesn't get cold at night, just tent up. You know, if you don't have a big trailer, I don't think I'll ever have one of those big trailers. I just lone wolf it out of my truck, and that's what makes it interesting, really, is just to throw all your gear in your car and see what you can come up with. Man, it's always interesting, you know. I like that. Plus, dragging a trailer is pretty gnarly. It would take a long time to get there. What takes me about 4.5 hours could start getting up into like the 6.5 plus range. So that's a pretty gnarly drive after a route, man. But yeah, you just pack all your shit up like you're going camping, but you're bringing your RC cars, and it is a hell of an adventure. It's so fun. I was just kind of thinking back, like back to February when I went up to Winter Rage. I just ran nitro buggy up there, but I pulled 3 classes out of running one car. You know, I pulled Sportsman, 40 plus, and Spec Tire out of one nitro buggy. I thought that was pretty good. I had a good time up there doing that. Winter Rage was like, there was like a lot of people there. Space wasn't as like, I never want to bring as much gear when I go to those for some reason. I just like to stick to, although when I went the year before, I brought 4 cars with me and ran, I think, 3 different classes. But this year I just ran the nitro buggy, just one car, and it just seemed like it just worked out better that way. So I put some videos up for that. That was a pretty like straightforward. Everything went as planned. I ran all my races, type run. When I run nitro races, you only get one main race, so I knew that. And then after that run, I was really happy to be able to run electric events again, because then you can get 3 main races if you make the A main, the A race. So that's doable for me in Sportsman e-buggy. That's something that I should be able to do or get pretty close to doing. So when I went to the Pasco race, which doesn't even feel like it was that long ago, for God's sakes, it's crazy, man. I guess we're only in June, you know. So we're talking between February and June. Those 3 races happened for me. Bubbles. So Pasco, man, everything came down up there, man. My whole house of cards caved in. Literally, my fucking tent blew away the night before. The whole house blew away. It's cold and the wind kicks up there, man. And all of a sudden, dude, it ain't stopping. Shit's flapping. And literally, my little house started to blow away on me. This was on Saturday night. This was the night before mains, and it all just kind of got ill from there, man. It was cold too, but I had a goal to bump out of my 2Bs, and I just didn't up at Pasco. So my day got cut really short. I was rolling up my little campsite at like 10 in the morning. My day was done. That was shitty, man. To go that far and to be rolling it up that early was no buen, dude. No buen. I feel like I didn't concentrate on a plan when I was up there. If I had clearer goals in mind, I think I would have at least bumped out of my Sportsman e-buggy and had a full day of racing with that. And I should have, but I broke. I went for a big jump and I broke my car, and I was going to come in second in that one. So I broke in that one break, and I'm packing up my whole campsite at 10 in the morning, not getting a full day of racing on Sunday. It's disappointing, man, because I didn't plan for that, I should have had it in my head. I had the damn thing in the bag, and I should have said, dude, just double single this, man. You got it, You want a full day of racing, right? And I just didn't have that goal in my head, And then boom, my whole day was shut down, man. These race days, they come at you so furious, and like, everybody wants to have a full day of racing. So I'm sure everybody has these types of goals, and it took me like 5 years of going to these to like think, all right, man, I got to have a plan so I can at least have a full day of racing on Sunday. What classes do I need to enter? And that will get me that full day. So I had to really think about, I had to approach this my third race of the year, and the last one that I'm going to be able to go to, with a plan, man. So I could get a full day of racing, So trying to think about some other highlights up in Pasco. It's a cool track. We run our spiderweb tires. It packs in really well. It's a super rad scene, man. Just going there was cool. You're still going to a party. It's like, it still totally feels like a party, and it was. And so it was a bitch and run. I just didn't pull back any videos from it because my day ended so early. I couldn't really get out the gear. I had just packed up and came home. I didn't film anybody else's races like I like to do when I go to these. That's something I like to do when my racing is done. Sometimes I'll get out the camera, but before I'm done, I film a couple races. But anyway, the Pasco run was cool. I learned a lot, and I learned how important it is to do what you got to do to have a full day of racing on Sunday. We pay to go to these, and the menu is, all right, so I'll break down the menu. So I think when people see races, like race videos, maybe they think dudes are there for maybe like all of just one day, or maybe like, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people know that we have to be there for 3 days. That's killer, man. You get to run RC cars for 3 days straight, and that's what got me going at first. That was the first reason why I wanted to go to a race, because I wanted to stay there for 3 days and run RC cars for 3 days straight. My first race in 2020. That's what I was so excited to just go and just be doing nothing but RC stuff for 3 days straight. And we did, I went with my dudes from here, Sean and Bob. They brought me in. They showed me how to get down a little bit. And then from then on, I wanted to go to the next one. And I did. I went to the next one. And I went to that by myself. And what just kept me coming back was knowing I was going to run RC cars for 3 days straight. And that's still a big deal. That's still why I know I'm going to get that. But you got to plan so you can run that third day all day. You don't want to break early on main day. You got to do a lot of stuff to survive main day. A lot of stuff. A ton of stuff. And also qualifying. I mean, it's the same. You got to be really, really prepared. You got to have seconds on backups, on thirds, on parts. You got to have a lot of stuff to survive at one of these, man. We end up going through all our bins, or another guy that runs the same kind of car that we do will run over and ask us if we have something. Before we know it, we're dumping out, our fucking whole thing, dude. Just clawing through it, like a dope fiend clawing through the garbage, trying to find like a little baggie. It's crazy. You got to be so prepared, man. Because if it's not you that needs it, it might be someone else, that runs the same kind of car you do. And so, what else about that Pasco run before I start talking about Yakima? It's just a rad scene up there, as they all are. You know, it's just you're with it's someone's local track, and they're fortunate enough to have a local track that hosts races. I don't, you know, so I have to go to these people's places and scenes and become a part of their crew for the weekend, man. And it's pretty killer. It always works out rad. They know you're a serious RC guy, and they welcome you every time, no problem. Super killer. So I go to Pasco, Yakima, and Walla Walla. Those are like the three. That's kind of my golden triangle in the Tri-Cities, and I have so much fun every time. All those places are about 4.5 hours from me here in Central Oregon, so I can do those. I also fill out an 8-hour paper to get a light route that day, so I'm usually done with my route at a good time, and I can get up there at a decent time. So, and then I take Friday off. We get a few days a year that we can just submit and have off, so I get a few of those a year, submit them for race days. Killer, good to go. There's some other ones here in the Pacific Northwest as you go farther north that I've been fortunate enough to make it to, but I just can't, they're not my normal like 3-day weekend ones. I was fortunate enough to go to HRCR in Idaho last August. And that was only because I had a couple weeks off back to back, and I just took a whole week, pretty much lived at HRCR for an entire week, and they were totally cool. I just drove the carpet track while they got the dirt track ready, and then we had a big race on the dirt track that weekend. It was pretty sweet. It was killer. And so, I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. You just run RC car. I mean, that was like, I ran RC cars for a week, and I didn't want to leave the parking lot at HRCR. It was like a dead show. I didn't want to leave the parking lot. The music just kept going and going and going and going and going, man. And I didn't want to leave. If I had another thing of cooler food up there and I had another week, or like if they were just going to open the track, you know, like if I had another week off, I almost would have stayed there and just drove the carpet track for a few more days and just watched the circus leave town and still chill out. You know, Brian let me camp there for a week straight. I asked him on Facebook, and he's like, yeah, Craig, get up here and just do your thing, man. It's all good. So that's about 7 hours away from me, though. That's up in, you know, like Idaho, not northern Idaho, but it's still pretty far from me. So I'll have to plan really craftily to make it up there. And I've made it up to the Spokane track. That was a cool spot too. That was about 6 hours though. That's a gnarly drive, man. But it was cool to make it up there. You know, met the crew up there, Spokane, Spokes. And then a couple years ago, I went super far north up to Burlington. This is another, you know, NCT circuit track up in Burlington, Washington. That's really far north. That's like a half hour from Canada. So again, I had to have like, you know, at least I guess I had a week off for that one. And then I went to Die Hard RC before the Burlington NCT and just hung out there for like, you know, 3 days. Just slept in my truck for 3 days, man. I was on the road for a week. I think I took a hotel for just one night after staying at Die Hard for like 3 days, and then I just took a hotel room for one night just to clean up. And then it was trackside at Burlington for 3 more days, dude. Loved every minute of it. That time I just brought the e-buggy and just ran 2 e-buggy classes. I didn't bring my nitro shit. Kind of wanted to just be kind of a chill thing, and I just didn't want to have like, you know, the old, I didn't want to have to do nitro stuff there. I just did e-buggy, and it was a lot of fun. It was totally cool. And that's another great track that's been there for a long time, up there in Burlington, Washington. So all the Washington guys can go to all these places, you know, they can traverse their whole state. For me, I can pretty much stick to those Tri-Cities places, and then, I don't know, I might make it back up to Spokane, maybe at some point. Burlington's too far, and I don't think we have Post Falls anymore. I think that track dropped out of the circuit, so. But as far as I can tell, 3 Tri-Cities tracks should be there for a long time. They're not going anywhere. They're going strong, and they'll sustain a healthy program for anybody that wants to go race, for sure. So yeah, man, Pasco is in the house. The new owners, Gina and Rick, super killer. Laid out food, fajitas for everybody. That was a party, man. That was just a fun time. It's so rad, like seeing everybody. Like you wait 6 months, and then you're back seeing these people again, and you're like marking time with them. It's great. It's I really like that. So driving home from Pasco, I was already like, damn, dude, I was disappointed. I didn't leave there floating just because I didn't have my strategy correct. I just didn't think ahead, like what I wanted. I wanted a full day of main racing, and I just didn't realize I wanted that till it was too late. I just kind of thought it would sort of happen, but I should have prepared more to make that happen. So driving home, I was like, all right, next race, I'm going to do everything I can, man, to get a full day of main racing in Yakima. It's going to be sweet. And so that's what I did, man. The signups were like a week after I got back from Pasco. I signed up for Yakima, and then boom, I'm already like, my mindset's changed, and I'm already on to the next one, dude. And I'm like, yeah, I'm already stoked. I'm already like, just the needle is already falling into the groove, because I'm just already like super planning for it. Like in my head, I'm like, oh man, killer. Like I was so ready for the challenge to race all day on Sunday, to just be in that the A main of the sportsman group. I was pretty sure I could do it. I entered, so a race I just came back from in Yakima, I entered Nitro Truggy, 40 e-buggy, and sportsman e-buggy. So I knew I had kind of a chance to make it into the A for 40 e-buggy, but way more of a chance in sportsman. It's just 40 plus, you just get a different caliber. You get some good dudes in 40. They drive right by you. They're hauling ass. So I knew there was a chance there, but I knew I really had a chance in sportsman. So, and that's what I did. I went to that race going, all right, my goals are to just race all day on Sunday and have a good time. If it all shaked out right, I would have 5 races on Sunday. That's a lot of racing. That's actually being trackside for 10 races, because you have to marshal. So really, you're in 10 races. 10 races? Holy shit. And so, and I was trackside for 10 races, and way more than that from just marshaling. I was probably a part of almost 75% of the events that spun laps there. I was trackside, working, marshaling, just we're there, we're watching. And so, all right. So, back to like the beginning of the run. Let's just talk about practice day. So practice was killer. It was good, There was a lot of people there, and everybody was having fun. It's my 3rd time at Yakima, and it's great there. Sean and his family, Sean Beeman and his family, hook up a rad party, man, a rad party. They're dedicated RC people, rad scene there in Yakima, serious dudes, super into it. They built a sweet track, a really sweet track. And so they always do. Everybody that builds these tracks, man, they always cook up something so clever and cool. It's works of art, man. That's another reason why I like to go is you get to run on the best tracks. You're running your RC car on these awesome tracks. I mean, I'm still like not like super competitive or anything, but just to be able to run your gear on those tracks and make laps is like in itself is like super rad. So practice was great. It was hot up there, and if I'm comfortable, I drive better. We all do. We don't want anything ill going on. This is such a mind thing. and so I was so like, I so wanted to make my goals, man. And I thought, all right, well, just the harder I work at this, all I really wanted was my sportsman A1, A2, A3. That's all I really wanted. I mean, I knew I would run my races for my other classes, but that sportsman class was just the one I really wanted to concentrate on. So when I was practicing, I would go trackside and then I would just set my car down and watch, kind of like before when I used to go boogie boarding on Maui, when I would roll up to Ho'okipa. I would just sit there and watch the waves for a long time, you know. I would just watch the waves come in, watch the sets, watch the people out there, and I would just watch. But unlike being at the beach, when we're trackside and just standing there, you can't just stand there. If you're just standing there, you're gonna have to go run out and flip a car. So that's what I did. I would I would walk out, watch for a little bit, and then eventually I would just have to go flip a car. And then I would just marshal before I even practiced. I would just sit on a bucket, post, and just you know, run back and forth, work for a while, and then go up and take a run. It felt like I was earning my right to take a run, you know, like if I would marshal for a little while before even taking a run, it kind of helped my confidence a little bit. It just made me a little more relaxed in that I just worked. I just put some time in to help others take a run. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a run. And it was cool. It felt all right. Not once did I walk out, just set my thing down and just walk right up. I like to go out there and just watch, you know, and just see if I can learn something before I go up there. And I did, man. You just see how people are cornering, see how they're taking the back quad thing. That was pretty challenging, man. And just watch dudes. So I did that like all day. So at most races on Friday, you can practice for hours, man. Like the track opens early in the morning and you have like so long all day to get your thing ready, and it's killer. It's so fun. If you're running nitro, you have time to tune your engine, or you can get help tuning it. You have that whole day. I love that. I love just knowing that Friday is just this day where we just run our stuff. You're finding your lines. That's a really fun time, man. Talk to people about, you know, like maybe somebody will suggest something that you could do better if they've been watching you, and it's just a rad day to like just kind of hang out, take notes. But so I spent a lot of time marshalling, and it was cool, man. Just watching people, you know, each corner, and you just see how they do it, and I think it helped. And then I would go up, take my run, you know, whether it was a nitro or the e-buggy. And then I would come down and then go right back out to a bucket, man. And you did that for up until like 7 o'clock at night, talking from like 8:30. The track opened. I might have been the first dude on the track with the e-buggy. I think I was. Right when he opened it, and it was good to go. It was already like, it wasn't muddy, and I might have been one of the first ones to take a run on that practice day. And then everyone just came out, and we ran that thing right up until like 7:30, maybe even 8 o'clock. 12 hours. Like imagine your funnest bashing session where you're at the spot for a few hours, you eat, your stuff is running good, you kick back, turn on the radio, maybe you have a buddy there, and you have a good time, and you run like for at least a couple hours, and it's killer, you know, it's a good time. And a practice day is that times like 4, you know, like, I mean, even more than that, because in a way it kind of does feel like you're sort of bashing, because it's not qualifying and it's definitely not racing. You're just running circles, you're running laps with everybody there, man. So it almost has that 12-hour bash session feel, you know. So it's fun, man. It's super fun. At one point, no one was out there. It was weird. Or no, they were doing something to the track. There was like a little lull from like in the afternoon, and there was like a little bench there with an umbrella over it. And I still just wanted to be trackside. I just didn't want to be sitting in my camp. All my stuff was running, nothing was broke, and there was like a little shade on the bench, and I just sprawled out like a hobo and just fell asleep on the bench for like 10 minutes, you know, just took a little knockout, just slept on a park bench at the track, you know. It was killer. Shut my eyes and then just slept at the track, dude. And then after a while, everyone came out again, man. And boom, we're right back into it. So I think I broke something during practice. I don't remember what it was, you know, but it was fine. Everything was fine. So practice was good, man. I mean, it was a good time. The next day for qualifying, you know, I'm not going to go super play-by-play here. I want to keep this moving along, but it was good. It was good. I felt like I drove really good. I just concentrated on not crashing, and I really didn't, man. I didn't go too fast, you know, during this whole thing. But I just didn't want to crash, and I didn't want to take too many chances. I've noticed there's one dude there who drives with us at NCTs. He's been going for a long time. I don't want to name names in my videos, but he's got this rad style where I notice everyone is like, you know, they're always on the edge of like, they really push their stuff. Sometimes they send it. You see cartwheels, kind of gnarly, but I mean, that's what it is. That's what speed is. You're hauling ass. But this dude's stuff just has a way of really staying glued to the track. And this guy wins too. He wins. He's got this great style, man. And so I kind of wanted to like, I really like when I'm watching his truggy go around, I'm like, look at his truggy, man. He's in control the whole time, and I wanted to go for that. And so that's what I did, man. I just tried to drive like that guy, you know. And I'll never forget like how important this dude's style will always be to me now, because it actually carried my weekend through. It really did. It kept me alive. So as qualifying starts, the highlight of my qualifying day was I TQ'd around. TQ means you top qualify. That means you did the most laps in 5 minutes. I couldn't believe that shit. I was not expecting to do that at all. It was killer, man. It was my first like moment where I'm like, oh man, all right. I felt like I learned a lot. There was only 5 other cars on the track. We were all spaced apart. When you're qualifying, you're not like clawing it for position or anything. You just have to make laps. Make laps. Make laps. So I was the first one across the line, and then the dude's like, all right, Craig, you're first across. All right. And then so-and-so, you're second across. All right, you guys are going. And I just stayed in that same spot. You know, I wasn't trying to go fast or anything like that. It was just to not crash. And I ended up making the most laps in a 5-minute run. So that was one of my qualifiers. I top qualified the run. So that was killer. I was just so happy about that, man. I just did this really clean run. It was beautiful. It was great. And then the rest of the qualifying day went great, man. You know, a lot of fun. So basically qualifying means you're making laps to get a good spot on the grid for main day. So you want to make the most laps and be, you know, is like, you know, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, all the way up to number 1. So the cars are lined up parallel for a race, and then the sound of the tone, pow, you're off. And I mean, I'm usually in the back. I'm used to being in the back when I qualify. But this time I actually was like in the middle of the pack, and when that buzzer sounded for my at least for my Sportsman e-buggy runs, I was in the middle. I realized how important a good position is, man. You just won't have to drive through as much. The first turn is kind of gnarly. It's always crowded with cars. Unfortunately, I didn't get any head system video with my e-buggy, only my nitro truck. And at this point, you'll notice that I messed up the camera angle for my head system for my nitro truck, so I just showed a few stabs of me in nitro truck. I couldn't show my whole run, which, I mean, wasn't that killer anyway, you know, so no big deal. I just wanted to show that I was in nitro truck and had a good time, and got to work with a great dude. You guys will see that dude in the beginning of this video, the guy that pitted for me. I'll say his name was Ed, and he really helped me out a lot. And I always find these people to work with when I go to races to help me during nitro. That's one of the things I like about running nitro is I just you know, you just shoulder tap people to work with you. Usually, a lot of times it's just people that are camping next to you that can help you. And that's what Ed did for me, and he was also in nitro, so I was actually able to pit for him too in his 40 plus nitro buggy. So I did that. So qualifying, it was good. It was really good. TQ in that round was sweet. And so already I was just noticing a difference in my driving. Like, everything just felt better than the last race because I had a goal in mind to just, you know, do what I got to do to be in the A for Sportsman. And I don't think there wasn't like a ton of people, so I don't think there was even a B main for that, so I didn't have to worry about that. I was going to be in the A for that. There was almost enough people for a B, but if there was, I'm pretty sure I could have gotten out of it. And so, what else? So qualifying day is another super long day. So the thing about race days, man, is that they are long. You know, you get up early, and who the hell knows how late you're going to be staying up with a driver in one hand and a pair of pliers in the other, working under your lights, moths, bugs, till 2 in the morning. I've done it a few times. Or fixing a brake, you know, fixing your car for either surviving quals or to survive main day. But nothing too ill like that for me. I wasn't working on my stuff super late, but you just kind of do end up staying up late. But qualifying day was a long day, man. It was. We got done, you know, like we put the lights on at the track, so that means it was like at least a 12-hour day. So super long day qualifying. Everything went really good, you know. And then, yeah, moving right along to main day. I was in 40 plus e-buggy B main. I almost bumped out of that. I got third in that out of like maybe 5 or 6, maybe 7. Maybe 7 dudes were in that. I got third in that. That was cool, man, in that B main for Sportsman. I'm sorry, for 40 plus e-buggy. I think that was my first race of the day, so I almost bumped out of that. Usually they take 3 bumps, but at this one there was only 2, which was fine. I had enough. I actually, if I would have bumped out of that, I think that would have been too many. That would have been like 8 races, dude. And then you got a marshal after them. It would have been trackside for 18 races. Or I don't know, 6, I don't know, man. Just, you would have been trackside so much, dude. If you unexpectedly bump out of stuff and you have to be like in another event, it's kind of gnarly. So, but I was close to bumping out of that though. My car started to lose a little bit of power during that run, actually. My I ended up like switching out my bullets, like trying to expand my bullets with the driver, and I broke one of them, and I had to resolder a bullet, and I had to run around the campsite looking for a 4mm bullet. So I learned yet another thing to bring next time is bullets, extra cables, you know, for your electric stuff. But the car was slowing down a little bit, but I was actually doing really well. You know, I wasn't crashing. I put my little don't crash formula to the test, and I almost bumped out of that. So that was a fun run. And then so the next up was old Edward Scissorhands here. Edward Scissorhands. Look at those long arms. They're like Edward Scissorhands, blade hands, blade fingers. Freaking Nitro Truggy, man. Old Edward Scissorhands. He's got me into some fun times. So the thing about Nitro Truggy for me is like sometimes not enough people will show up for there to be a B main. So a low-level sportsman driver like me will actually sneak into a half-hour A main race with those damn things, you know. All I gotta do is bring this guy, and I'll be up there swimming with the gnarliest sharks in the Pacific Northwest, dude. And that's what happened, you know. I entered Nitro Truck. There was a chance that enough people would have shown up for there to be a B. And yeah, I don't know. I probably couldn't have bumped out of that. But there was only enough people for an A. So every Nitro Truck driver got a half hour of Nitro glory, man. A half-hour race. Hoo-wee. The big show, boy. Fun times. Old Edward Scissorhands, dude. And it was killer. The winner of the race did 67 laps in 30 minutes. I did 49. So I was really happy with that. When I run, that was the third time I've gotten to run a half-hour race with the Nitro Truck, I believe. That's a pretty good deal. I've never ran a half-hour Nitro race with my buggy. Who the hell knows when I'll make it into one of those, dude? Damn. But with the Nitro Truck, it's possible. It's possible because just not as many people run Nitro Truck, you know. So there's a good chance that some of these other NCTs I'll be able to do it again. I've already done it 3 times. And every one of those half-hour mains I survived. Not one of those mains over the last few years when I do Nitro Truck did I have to limp out of it broken. I survived all of them. Fun times, man. Doing your pit stops. Ed helped me out. The headsets. And it was cool, you know. I mostly had to just, you know, you let people go by, but you make your laps, don't crash. And it was bitching, man. It was bitching. You really get to see what the, you know, what the rippers see, man. You're up there for half an hour. And as long as my thing is running good, dude, I could be up there for an hour, you know, having a good time. Hell, I love it. I absolutely love it, man. Oh man, running for a half an hour in those A mains, that's insane, dude. That's insane. So, I was, you know, last for that one, but just to finish was great. So that was 40E buggy. I almost bumped out of that, and then the Nitro Truck happens, and then I think my Sportsman A1, A2, A3s might have been going already. So those were good too, man. Just nothing too crazy. I don't think I broke or anything. Just kept it cool, man. Kept it real conservative, honestly. There was a back like really challenging quad thing. Some dudes are quadding it. A lot of people were triple singling, and I did that maybe a couple times with each car. I did the triple single, never the quad. Just getting enough speed to triple single just didn't guarantee a smooth landing in that last little thing. So I ended up just trying to double that thing, or just double single. And I didn't crash back there at all. It wasn't fast, but it was just the safest thing to do. And I drove by a lot of cars that were, you know, on their shells back there from just trying to launch through there. It was just hard to set up, dude. It was kind of narrow, and the lead up to it was off of a turn, and I just found it really difficult to even set up, to even try to get enough speed to even think about tripling it, let alone quadding it. So that never happened for me. I just kept the car on the ground, man. Just like the other dude that I was watching, it just kept his on the ground. I just watched him double that every fucking time. Boom, boom, boom. He did it every time. And so that's what I did. And it was good. It was really good. So I ended up getting my first award for RC racing, man. Oh man, I was so happy. I didn't even know I was getting one of these. I was packing up. I had to. I couldn't stand there for award ceremony. This is Ralph Macchio, Karate Kid, E-Buggy. And I couldn't stand there for award ceremony. And so I was kind of listening to it though. And then I actually wanted to hear what he said for Sportsman E-Buggy. I thought, well, maybe. Like I didn't even look at my thing when I was done. Like I just wanted to watch other races, and it's rare that I even look at my, because I still don't know like how to even know where I stand or anything, you know. And I just enough was going on to where I just didn't even really like pay much attention when we were all done to even know like where I stood. And so I'm packing up and stuff, and he's on, and I'm like, oh, let me turn down my radio. He's calling out the thing for Sportsman E-Buggy. I'm like, wait a minute, maybe there's a shit. And he fucking calls my name, dude. Craig. Or no, he names like 10 people, you know, the top 10, and he hasn't said my name, and I'm like, fuck. And he's like, all right. And fifth, Craig. And I go booking up there to get this, dude. And so, damn, I was so happy, dude. Because I just kind of forgot about it. I was like, we're done running, you know, and that's that. So, but kind of the back of my mind, I thought, you know what, dude, I actually did really good in that. Like maybe there's a chance that I'm going to be, you know, have to go over there for this class. And I was right, dude. You know, I did well enough in that class. I made enough laps to get one of these. I've been going racing for 5 years. This is my first one of these. And I had to earn these. I had to drive through, you know, wrecks and stuff, and actually through a couple passes maybe. Not many, but I mean, I tell people, like, I hadn't even really passed cars yet at all. But so getting that was cool. I mean, it made me feel like, you know, I understand just, you know, getting a little better at it. And what can I say, man? That really left me floating. Getting that award really left me floating. It really made me want to go back to the next one big time. So basically to get that award, I just feel like I just had to know what my goals were, and those were to just make sure that I got a full day of racing on main day. That's all I wanted. I just wanted A1, A2, A3. I didn't want to pack up at noon or 1, you know, from braking or not being prepared. And I almost did. I almost had that weird ill pack up if I didn't find that 4mm bullet, dude. I think I would have found one, but it was a pretty gnarly like scatter to get one. Because I was having a bit of issues. I think my bullets on my E-Buggy are a little old. It might be good to switch out a couple of them. It was just kind of they were just having some contact issues there. But so that's it, you guys, man. You know, that was my experience in my racing year in a nutshell. I won't be able to jibber jabber for another one of these for until the next Winter Rage next year in February. So I just wanted to take some time to talk about it, you know. But I also wanted to show that the little bit of video that I did get for Nitro Truck. I was out there, I did run, and I did finish. You know, I almost did 50 laps in a half an hour. The top rippers did 67, 66, you know, gnarly. But I finished all my races with, here's Ralph Macchio, my e-buggy, and Edward Scissorhands, my Nitro Truggy. Finished everything, man. Had a good time. So, maybe the next race I'll run e-Truggy and the Nitro Buggy. I have all four, so that's also makes it a lot of fun to just kind of pick. You know, I haven't really raced the e-Truggy yet. I think I raced it once, but I just had some stuff going on with it. I've really never really gotten it up to its full. It never really ran for me full tilt at a race yet. I always had some issues with it, but I think we got it sorted. Yeah, I think Evan helped me out with that. I know he did because I ran it and it sucked down a full battery. So I'd like to get out there maybe with the electric truck guys and have a good time maybe at the next one. We'll see, man. So that'll probably be in Winter Rage. So, man, peace out to anybody from the NCT Pacific Northwest, you know, racing circuit crew here that might know about my channel and watch this stuff. What's up, you guys? And you guys have a good, rad rest of the race year. I wish I could be there, but I'll be checking back in with you guys real soon, man, to have some fun. All right, peace out, you guys.